and the middle is maghfirah, and the last part is Adqa min al-nar. Our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ told us that the beginning of this month is mercy, rahmah, and the middle of it is maghfirah, forgiveness, and the last part is Adqa min al-nar, release from the hellfire. Can you hear me? Yes, here. So let's talk about the concept of rahmah. First of all, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala applied this to himself. كَتَبَ عَلَى نَفْسِ rahmah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala applied mercy to himself. And in fact, if you remember, two of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala relate to rahmah, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described himself as ar-Rahman, as ar-Rahim. So two of his names relate to rahmah. The scholars say that, for example, in Surah Al-Fatiha, which we recite, every Muslim should recite at least 17 times a day, that there is a Rahman Rahim in the Al-Fatiha. We'll talk about it in a minute. So the concept of rahmah is very important to apply to ourselves. But let's say now, for example, Surah Al-Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, which means praise to God, the Lord of the universe. Okay. In fact, the mushrikeen of Mecca, even those people, believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is a creator, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He created the universe. وَلَئِنْ سَأَلْتَهُم مَّنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ لَيَقُولُنَّ Allah. So they believe in that. So that's according to nowadays terminology. They are called agnostics. You know, there's agnostics and atheists. So in today's terminology, Mushrikeen Mecca, the idol worshippers of Mecca were agnostics. So, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now, let's skip Rahman Rahim. What's after Rahman Rahim? Malik Yawmiddin, which means the owner of the hereafter, which is really scary concept. If you really think about it, you have no wealth there, you have no power, you have nothing. You are left to the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's really a scary thing. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from His mercy, before He told us that He is the owner of the owner of Yawm al-Qiyamah, Malik Yawmiddin, He gave us some chance, some opportunity, some hope, Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. And the scholars say that Ar-Rahman means that it's a general mercy. And Rahim is a special mercy for mu'mineen. وَكَانَ بِالْمُؤْمِنِينَ رَحِيمًا. So this, in fact, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as our Prophet ﷺ in one of the hadith said that in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has only 1% of His mercy, which also includes the mercy He gave to human beings and to animals. Only 1%, and the 99% He reserved it for when? For the hereafter. And inshallah, we will be getting His mercy in the hereafter, and of course in this dunya. So this is one thing. The second thing is the Prophet ﷺ. By the way, just a brief thing about some of the names of or attributes, Sifatullah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the names of Allah, 99 names. Some of them you may apply to human beings. You said you are Rahim, you are Kareem, you know, but certain things like Allah, Ar-Rahman, Al-Khaliq, Al-Raziq, you will never apply to anybody, of course including human beings. So Ar-Rahman is one of the things that you cannot mention to anybody but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second thing is that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he himself was Rahmatan lil Alameen, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told him in the Quran, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. We did not send you but mercy to humanity. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ, to the world. Not only to Muslims, by the way. And he should be, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he should be example to us. And in fact, if you look at his seerah, his life, he was really applying his mercy in his daily life, at home, in the masjid, with his supporters, even merciful with his enemies. And Shaykh Jazallahu Khairan, when he told us about Fatih Makkah, the conqueror of Mecca, how he forgave and he was merciful with the people who hurt him and hurt his followers. As one of the hadith mentioned that one of the Bedouins came to the Prophet ﷺ and he noticed that the Prophet ﷺ was kissing his grandchildren. And he said, like, you do that? You kiss your grandchildren? He said, yes. He said, I have so many children and grandchildren, I never kissed them. And the Prophet ﷺ said, like, what am I going to do for a person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the mercy out of his heart? So he was telling us that this mercy, and as you noticed, the people who were listening to what Imam Amr was reciting, Surah Al-Rum, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. One of his ayat, one of his signs, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us His grace and His ni'mah over us, that He created spouses for us, and of course, created us for our wives, so that there will be mawadda and rahmah. Not only love, but rahmah. Because sometimes, honestly, the love can come in high and low, as you know. Whether it's your children, your wife, or the best people you love. The love can go on. But then the mercy will stay in your heart, and you will apply this. And that's what the final point is, that I remind myself and you that we need to apply this concept of rahmah in our daily life, starting at home with our wife and children, and of course with the people who work with, the rahmah with animals, rahmah with everything around us. That's what our Prophet ﷺ is about. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Not only for Muslims, but subhanAllah, we need to apply this, and I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us mercy and to make us merciful to others, because that's, there's a saying, and I don't think it's hadith, of course Imam Amr can correct me, مَنْ لَا يَرْحَمْ لَا يُرْحَمْ. The person who does not give mercy to other people, he is not given mercy. Hadith, okay, so alhamdulillah, it's even hadith. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this blessed month of Ramadan to give us mercy, to give mercy to those people, brothers and sisters in Egypt, in Syria, in Palestine, and everywhere else. اللهم ارحم المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم.